I call this special session of the City of Glen Rose City Council to order at 12 noon on May 25th, 2016. I'll call the roll. Councilman Jones, absent. Councilman Marquez.
Here.
Councilman Moore.
Here.
Councilwoman Ramsey. Here. Councilman Mitchell.
Here.
We have a quorum. Okay, we've called this special meeting to address a single item, and that is for the discussion and possible action regarding the approval of ordinance number 584, providing for needed improvements to pool equipment at the Plunge, the swimming pool at Oakdale Park, approval of an increased expenditures for the procurement of equipment for the needed improvements, and approval for implementation and installation of needed equipment by staff, contractors, or other means, and providing for an effective date of the action should it be approved. That having been said, I am going to turn this over to the city administrator with regard to briefing the council on what needs to be done, what we have brought, or what has been surfaced, and an immediate action that we need to look at or near immediate.
Madam Mayor, members of the council, since David Hyman has been on board in January, we have done several surveys of needed repairs and maintenance items. One of the items that was noted up front was the fact that we still use chlorine gas for disinfection of the pool. The very location of that facility of where the gas distribution point is into the pool is a problem because of the prevailing south wind, and chlorine gas is heavier than air. It would drift directly across the surface of the pool if, in fact, we had a leak or any kind of failure in the system. The state of Texas has, since 2003, has disallowed the use of chlorine gas for disinfection of pools, and we have explored, looked for a number of different ways to provide disinfection from UV, from bromine, from any number of different types, and what we have come back with is chlorine bleach, which is liquid, an injection of that into the flow of the water to be able to disinfect. We have to maintain, I believe it's 2 parts per million residue in the water for disinfection purposes for the state health department. David has contacted a company, and I think you provided the documentation on that the company would provide all of the equipment and installation to move us from the chlorine gas to the liquid bleach operation. The total cost is a little over $12,000 because this is not an appropriated money. There is an ordinance that because the budget has to be amended, the budget was adopted by ordinance, so it has to be amended by ordinance. And if you have any further questions on it, I'd be happy. David is here to answer any questions on the technical side of it and all of his explorations into this particular aspect of the pool.
Council members, any questions? Yes, Councilman Moore.
David gave me a tour this evening. I appreciate that. I want to see the pool up to par and for safety and all that where it needs to be. There was one issue I had seen when I was out there that the old diving board had been completely taken out. It kind of disturbed me that maybe we could have been apprised of that.
That particular aspect of it, the diving board, we had to take the support structure in order to do anything with it. We're going to have to take the support structure out. It had rusted off at the ground level. We're going to have to take out the whole thing in order to put the new diving board in. Another issue, and this is not on the agenda, but another issue that occurred was that the depth of the pool at the diving board area is 9 feet. our risk management and insurance company had noted a violation on that several different times, that it requires 13 feet. And because of the support structure needing to be removed, David went ahead and removed the support structure. He would have to do that anyway before he could put, we haven't indicted for it, but he would have to take that out before we could do anything further with it. And because that's not on the agenda, I really,
If I could first, okay, before we continue, I'd like to interject that there are other issues at the pool which were in the Oakdale pool report, okay, that are going to be addressed at a later time. We're focusing on this particular issue because of the potential safety factors with the chlorine gas and the fact that we are right on the doorstep of the pool opening. We will ensure that the 2 new council members do get a copy of this other report that the rest of the council received. So want to keep within this particular issue for today. Okay, Councilwoman Ramsey.
Well, mine kind of ties up with this, and I do acknowledge the whys of the regulations, and I do support that we need to meet the requirements. However, you know, we were given this book in January, and you and I personally had discussed it. And I guess my reasoning is so why are we waiting to May? Why didn't we start this in March to go ahead and get this done before swimming season's up? And when things are being done, whether it's with equipment or taxpayers' money, I feel slighted when people come on the street, citizens that know more than I do regarding what's going on at Oakdale and things being torn down, and because we're the ones that have to answer to them. And I know we're not discussing the diving board, but anything equipment or whatever, I feel like as an elected official that the council needs to have input how it's handled. And I guess that gets back to my first question regarding that. I mean, we've known it, and now we're waiting to May instead of going on, and now it's a swimming season.
one of the issues has been trying to find an appropriate type of, whether we use bromine, whether we use some other form of disinfectant. We looked at several different areas, and it took a while to sort through to see which was going to be the most effective, and that's why we finally got to, we just got this week before last. And that's why we're here today. You know, I can understand your comments, Councilman, and I don't dispute that at all. We'd like to have moved on it a little bit sooner than what we have, but it just took some time to sort through all of the various possibilities of fixing the pool.
So how quickly are we going to be able to move and get this done with swimming coming up? There have been already bookings, I'm sure, of parties for the summer. The you know, opening day is supposed to be this Friday, and I know that you don't want to. You and I talked about this, put any word out until we know what we're doing, and I appreciate that we've had this meeting before this Friday. I'm trying not to get off subject, okay? And I'm trying to be very professional.
Okay.
And I just feel like we need to be given an update, right or wrong, email to the council, and it doesn't mean, you know, I know it's open meetings if we get emails, but we need to be given gradual updates. Yes, we're right now looking at different chemicals to use for the pool so that we have a response when it's approached to us. And I'm for the ordinance, I'm for us doing it. I don't care if it costs $25,000, you know. That pool is important to this county and to the visitors that come in Oakdale in the summertime. And so
I appreciate that, and as far as the pool itself, we anticipate opening this weekend. It will be open for Memorial Day weekend. It will close at the close of business on Monday. And once we submit this order, I'm not sure what the shipping time is on it, Dave.
They didn't give me a shipping time.
We will find out the exact shipping time as far as what they expect delivery of the equipment. We have a contractor that is included in this equipment that will be able to install the equipment within 4 days of the equipment landing here. He will schedule it and be able to get it installed. We will open just as soon as possible after the installation and tuning of the equipment. So I anticipate probably the first 2, maybe 3 weeks of June that it will be back open at full.
Would you just send out something or
Yes,
call us
we
and
will-
let us know
we
that
will
the
let you know.
shipping, that it's gonna be shipped and the shipping date is, I mean, it's gonna take 2 weeks? I'm just throwing out numbers,
We will
okay, I'm not.
we will let you know as soon as we know what the shipping, how they're gonna, what time frame we can expect delivery of the equipment, and then an expected installation date.
And I would like to see us put on the regular meeting discussion of other equipment at Oakdale Park for the month of June.
Any other questions, Councilman, Mr.
Do I need to use this?
Yes, sir.
Does it work? Or I have to
That's
press
so
the
you gave you
buttons?
her, are they not on?
It's on.
Okay, good. How you doing, sir? Question number one, with the current gas chlorine that you use right now, you had to have two people that were trained to use
Yes.
on site at all times while it's in occupation, right? And this current system, is that the same way, or the new system only requires one or even remedial training?
It does not require 2 technicians on site. The David and Waylon, the other
Okay.
parks maintenance manager, if you will, will both be trained in the operation of it. But chlorine bleach does not have the same effect and is not the same difficulty to deal with as what the chlorine
Okay.
gas is.
So with the, go ahead,
It's
sir.
basically self-monitoring, and it will take care of itself.
Okay, good. With this new design, the enclosure that was required before with the chlorine gas, will we have to enclose this also?
We will still have to put an enclosure over this, and we're working on that as far as finding a building. Mueller does not erect buildings, they simply sell a prefab building that you have to hire somebody to erect. We've looked at several different options in that regard, but that we'll have to find a building company to, if in fact Mueller is the selection for the structure, then we'd have to find somebody to erect it.
Okay.
Otherwise, maybe some kind of stick-built wooden structure of a local construction company.
Okay, so this will be an added
Yes.
running. And then my last question is, with the MSDS, the new changes in the type that you use, it's already been identified to Somervell County Fire Department. Because from previous, you had to have a certain hazmat response with this
Right.
old one, but this new one, since it's better, you don't have to have that hazmat type response, but they still need to be aware of it, right?
We will still inform them and give them, make sure they have the MSDS sheets and the OSHA requirements on that.
Okay.
Councilman Ramsey?
Okay, this is my ignorance. Under the present system, and I've seen all the letters that go back to at least what I have, 2009. So we really needed to have 2 people trained in dealing with the present system that we have now?
Yes, anytime that the chlorine bottles were changed out, we should have had 2 people on site.
But we only had, I mean, to my knowledge, we only had 1, is that correct? Okay.
Waylon was the only one that I was aware of.
I mean, I didn't realize that, so I'm just clarifying it in my mind.
Yes. Prior operations, he was the only one that I'm aware of that was qualified technician on it. Yes, it required 2, and it required a significant amount of safety equipment.
I read all that, I just somehow missed the number 2.
And the standard for the state now is that chlorine, or the gas is absolutely prohibited for pools use of the gas.
Yes.
And that's something we just somewhat relatively recently came across that really was an
Well,
urgency in this.
actually, the city had been notified in prior years that it was not not an effective or not an approved methodology.
Okay, when I say we, this current council,
Yes.
just
Yes,
with it, okay.
yes.
Yes, ma'am.
The 2009 letter made the recommendation that there was no, that we should find an
Right,
alternative thing.
and I was
So,
just clarifying
yeah.
for the record that
so,
this current group of people. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Councilman Jones, you had your hand up earlier. Did your question get addressed?
For the most part, I mean, between Dennis and Sandra, they both asked the same questions, and I appreciate Mr. Marquez' comments. The timeframe was important that we're open this week, and we've got a lot of rain coming on Monday, Tuesday anyway, so parks are ineffectually, well, pools get ineffectually closed, probably, effectively closed. And I can't address my other question because it's not on topic.
Okay, appreciate that.
So,
I appreciate that. Yes,
So just to make, sure, this new system that we have on proposed right now, it's gonna establish that 8-hour turnover rate.
It will not.
It will not.
This is strictly for the disinfection. The 8-hour turnover rate deals with the plumbing as far as the pumps and the plumbing in the pool itself. We're still trying to determine how we can make that happen. Just for the council's application back probably over a month ago, we discovered that the pump, we were having issues with the pump. We exposed all of the plumbing. The discharge side of the pump was a 6-inch discharge, but it was pumping into an 1.5-inch size line.
Yeah.
And so consequently, the pump was cavitating and we weren't turning over the water in 12 hours, much less. We've got it down to 8 hours, but we still have some additional plumbing to do to get it down to the 6-hour requirement. And David and Waylon are working on that to accomplish that.
Councilman Jones?
just curious, could you do it with a water ball?
I'm sorry?
Could you turn over the water ball when you pump it out? Could you throw a 6-inch line to a water pole someplace? Just a thought. That would certainly move that 6 inches of water in, probably satisfy.
Yes, and that I can't answer. I don't know on that.
Yeah.
Councilwoman Ramsey?
Yes, and I recognize Waylon's talents. I haven't seen David's at work, I mean, as far as the plumbing. Is it something that we need to bring in a contract plumber in, or that use our certified plumber that's on staff to work on all this plumbing thing
We have.
versus
We have talked to a commercial pool company regarding this, and we're hoping to get some thoughts from them on what we can do to change that. The last time that the pool apparently was replumbed, it was a residential plumber and didn't recognize the rules that it had a turnover rate that had to be met. So that's where we are with that. We had undersized pipe in the ground, and we're working to remedy that.
Please understand, I'm not doubting your ability. I just want this process to open that pool. And I know everybody else does too, so that's why I'm asking questions.
Any other questions from council? Then, do I have a motion to approve ordinance number 584 regarding the pool equipment at, the changes and improvements in the pool equipment at Oakdale Park?
Make that motion, Mayor.
Okay, I have a motion from Councilman Moore. Do I have a second? I have a second from Councilman Marquez. Councilman Jones?
Aye.
Councilman Marquez?
Aye.
Councilman Moore?
Yes.
Councilwoman Ramsey?
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell?
Yes.
Okay, the motion passes 5-0 in favor for approval of ordinance number 584. There being no further business before the council. This meeting is adjourned at 12:20.